Hello and welcome. This is your boy Jack, hoping you had a fantastic New Year's Eve and New Year's Day celebration and wishing you a fantastic year ahead of you. And I thought, you know what? This is the new year. This is going to be my first reaction video of the year. So why not do something a bit more, okay, I was going to say festive, but that's not the case. I just wanted to do something that I enjoy. A channel that I've since its inception, I've been a huge, oh well, since I discovered it, actually, I should say, I've been an absolute huge fan. And the last item, the release was about 2 weeks ago, which is fantastic. I made sure not to watch it. I just wanted to share that experience with you and share the joy that I usually get whenever I watch one of their products, so to speak. And so here we are. We are talking about Epic Rap Battle of History, one of the best YouTube channel, in my opinion, of all times. And yeah, they're absolutely fantastic, brilliant guys. It's always enjoyable listening to, watching their work, listening to what they say and how it's sort of, there's a lot of research that actually that goes around actually creating these battles, and it's always interesting here learning things about characters or historical figures or whatnot that in this medium, and I find it absolutely fantastic, absolutely enlightening, and it's, again, as I said, it's always a pleasure to actually watch them do their thing. So this one that I'll be reacting to, as I said, just released about 2 weeks ago. It's John Wick versus John Rambo versus John McClane. John Wick, obviously, Keanu Reeves from the John Wick series. Then John Rambo from Sylvester Stallone of the Rambo series, or First Blood series, I should say. And John McClane, Bruce Willis of the Die Hard series. It should be a very interesting battle. I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this. And so, with that said, let's get this reacting party started. This is Epic Rap Battle of History doing their thing.
John Wick.
Sherwin as John Wick. Epic Lloyd as
John Rambo.
Alright, first off, we have to take, let's just look at this. This is absolutely fantastic. You have Epic Lloyd as John McClane with the dirty t-shirt, with the no shoes and a single gun. Then you have John Rambo with his combat boots and trousers and his survival knife and his bandana, obviously. And then we have John Wick in his bespoke suit and looking sharp as always. So I do believe that's Sherwin, Nice Peter, and Epic Lloyd, and obviously the characters they're playing are John Wick from the Keanu Reeves John Wick series. Then you have Sylvester Stallone as John Rambo in the First Blood series, and then you have John McClane, Bruce Willis as John McClane in the Die Hard series. And I love the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, that looks like the Nakatomi building in the background over there. You can see that through the doors. So I'm assuming the props in the warehouse has to do with their movies, but I'm not 100% certain, and we're not here to actually dissect that. Instead, we're here to watch the battle. So let's just continue, all right?
Guess I'll be the one to draw first blood.
First blood, obviously, I'll be the one to draw first blood, because technically he was actually, in reference to the three of them, he's actually the first super action hero. So there you go, followed by John McClane before John Wick.
Or maybe you could draw an audience to see any of your new movies.
That's not gonna happen. They're overdone. There are just too many, and they just feel like cheap thrills now. So it's like after the third movies in the Die Hard series and the First Blood series, it's like they've just been churning them out. In regards to the Die Hard series, the scripts weren't that great. I mean, it had potential to be more, to pass the baton over to a younger actor or whatever, and that completely fell flat because of the script. So there you go. I don't think we're gonna have box office panache draws for those movies in the not so distant future, in the near future. Maybe later on, once nostalgia factor builds in, they might actually bring it up and continue the series.
Out of the coast, we'll have a few laughs, sounds sweet. But no, I'm stuck here with these two jerkweeds about to kick their ass with bare feet.
All right, I love that fact where he said, "Come to the coast, we have a few laughs." That's actually the same line that John McClane uses in the first Die Hard series while he was there fighting the so-called terrorist in the Nakatomi building. So I really love that he actually incorporates that over there and uses it as a impetus, as though he's been placed into a situation again just as annoying as the Nakatomi incident, because he came there to actually try to make things up with his wife and he gets stuck in this mess, and here he is again. All right.
Sweet, but no, I'm stuck here with these two jerkweeds about to kick their ass with bare feet. Argyle, drop the beat. I said it.
Argyle, for those of you who don't know, was actually the limo driver who picked up John McClane from the airport. And also the fact that he's actually barefoot is very interesting. It's like he has a fear of flying or something like that. So the passenger next to him told him his trick of actually being calm is to remove his shoes and his socks and make sure there's nothing between him and the floor, and to make a fist of his toe on the floor or carpet, I think carpet if I'm not mistaken, and that sort of helps with the relaxation thing. So he was doing it at a time whereby the Nakatomi building was taken over by the bad guys. All right, so that's why he was barefooted and in a singlet, or wife beater as they call it. So love the fact that he brings in Argyle. Also, Argyle is the DJ over there, and Argyle technically, when he picked him up, was actually playing hip hop music in the car, and it's more or less introducing him to hip hop sound. So there you go. I guess that kind of works. I love how it ties in very well. So from a limo driver to a DJ artist, DJ Argyle. Nice thing. There you go. That was an iconic scene. The whole fire hose, he ties it around his waist. He jumps over, slams into the, tries to break the glass, doesn't work, pushes himself back, pulls out a gun and shoots it. I think even to an extent, the Matrix sort of had something similar to that. So in the helicopter, you know what we're talking about? John McClane. So never mind. All right.
I haven't stopped killing it since Carl's brother Tony, and I got your detonators right here. Blow me.
All right, so Carl's brother Tony. Tony was the first person he actually killed. Basically, this movie made Bruce Willis a superstar, and he's saying since he killed Carl's brother Tony, he's been killing it. His longevity has been absolutely insane. He's been around. He's been doing movies for as long as anyone can remember. And I also love the fact that Carl's brother, funny enough, was actually in a James Bond movie as the blonde villain there, if I'm not mistaken. It was the Living Daylight movie with Timothy Dalton. So, yeah, so that's an aside. Has nothing to do with this battle, but yeah. I always find it. I think part of the reason why I watched the movie was because of that. I actually watched The Living Daylight before I saw the Die Hard series. So he was the reason why I watched the movie, not Bruce Willis, and I ended up becoming a fan of the Die Hard series. So that was great.
Ship your booby traps home, Rambo, cause you'll never take the W without the P&O. Does your lip?
Oh, that's true. You never take the win without the P&O. As we all know, John Rambo was a POW. He was like held captive in a hole for years, if I'm not mistaken. And then I guess also the booby traps thing sort of makes sense because John Rambo is very well known for, setting booby traps in order to incapacitate his enemies, and he did an absolutely fantastic job doing so for a one-man army. So there you go.
Hang low, does it wobble to and fro? Can you string that shit up on your compound bow?
All right, now he's taking a jab at Sylvester Stallone's lips way of speaking. I'm not quite sure. I think they said it's paralyzed. I'm not 100% certain, but there was a rumor going around that the whole incident actually happened during the First Blood series. There was a scene where he was actually hanging off the side of a cliff and he actually jumps over. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually did the stunt himself. He jumped over, landed on top of a tree, and he got injured in the process. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. If I'm right, then I think that was where the whole paralysis with the lip thing kind of happened, a mouth thing kind of happened. If I'm wrong, then forget it. It was probably just an urban legend, and it was actually a stunt double who did the whole jump thing, because I distinctly remember that scene, watch that scene, and he dives off. Then for some reason it goes right back again and shows him doing it again. I thought it was weird that they actually repeated that same scene, but I think it was intentional to show that it was actually a real scene as opposed to fake whatever. So there we go. And obviously, we all know about Compound Bowl. He had this absolutely amazing scene in Rambo 2 where he had his Compound Bowl and his arrow with the contact grenade, and he strings it in and uses it to blow up the assault helicopter. Brilliant. So he's taking a jab at his future, which is something you do in a battle rap. So kudos to him.
Lighten up, Wick, with your brooding saga. How about a little Hakuna Matata, Baba Yaga?
I love that. It's like lighting up wick, as in the wick. You need a wick to actually light up a candle. Well, you need a wick and a candle in order to light it up with a fire. And I love the fact that he actually ties it in with this scene where he's actually in a vent with a lighter, which is also what a scene in the Die Hard movie. And also, we all know the whole John Wick series is a brilliant saga, so it sort of works with what he's trying to say with the Hakuna Matata line. It's like Hakuna Matata is a Lion King's reference, where it means no worries for the rest of the day. Just forget about your past and just live for the present and be happy. So we have the whole brooding sequence. We had them, obviously, Baba Yaga. That's what John Wick is known as. It's actually a Slavic supernatural entity that I'm not quite sure if it's a witch or a wizard. It's a bit murky. I really don't know much about it. So you have the brooding saga, which is what John Wick is. He wants him to light him up, and he has the light, and he has the wick, and it's just a whole play of the words over there. Brilliant.
You got the trousers, tape, and the watch, spooker, but your acting falls flatter than the Hans. Gruber! Leave the
All right, as we all know, Hans Gruber, I love it. He's one of the most charismatic villains out there, and it was just absolutely amazing. So funny thing about that, I keep forgetting the name of the actor. Obviously, for those of you who don't know Hans Gruber, he's the gentleman, the actor, played Professor Snape in the Harry Potter series. Funny thing about that, if I'm not mistaken, he got the role a day after he arrived in LA for the first time. He arrived, went to an audition, got the role, and ended up being one of the most famous, charismatic villains of all time. So that's great. And obviously, the whole false flatter than Hans Gruber, there's always been, speculations out there. Well, people are stating out there quite a bit that Keanu Reeves' acting is a bit wooden. It's very weird, but I think it actually works for the roles he actually takes. It's like it was perfect in his depiction of John Wick, and also perfect in his depiction of Neo and Johnny Mnemonic. And obviously, in the other spectrum of things, you have the Ted and Bill adventure, where he was completely different from that. So it's like he acts the way he needs for the role. So it doesn't fall flat. It's just what he believes the character or the role needs to be like. So, whoa. All right, so let's continue.
The Brown Coin game, the Mario Brothers, and John Bobby.
I love that. The whole Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers, the gold coins. The Mario Brothers take the coins and everything. And then we have the whole John Wick universe, where there's this underground society that actually deals with this coins. They use it as a form of currency in order to carry out assassins, clean up hotel stays and whatnot. They use those coins as opposed to regular normal society forms of transaction. So it's very interesting. I love how he actually uses that and insults him using Mario Brothers. That's brilliant. I really like that.
What the fuck's with the chest butter? The bandolier looks heavy as shit. I'm like this Brooks ring finger, only need one clip.
Okay, I don't get that. I'm like this Crip's little ring finger only need one clip. I don't know what that is in reference to. So please, if you guys actually know, let me know in the comments down below. That'll be absolutely awesome.
Bandolier looks heavy as shit.
That's
Unlike
true.
this prick's ring finger, only need one clip. I'm a sharper shattered glass.
Oh, is that in reference to him cutting his finger in the third movie? Is that what it is? All right.
Since the late 80s.
I love that. I've been a shopper's glass since the late 80s. There was a whole scene in the Die Hard movie, the first one, where obviously he was barefooted and there was a glass on the floor and he had to step on it. And then he uses that as an impetus to stating that, yes, those glasses were sharp. And yes, I have been that sharp since the late 80s. So he's claiming he has got longevity and he's been doing things, even though I think, well, okay. In a way, if he's talking about the Die Hard franchise, I guess, yeah, you could say it has more longevity than the Rambo franchise, the First Blood franchise. So yeah, that kind of works. So it's got longevity. But if it's talking about acting wise, then I have to say Sylvester Stallone has been in the limelight longer than Bruce Willis. So I'm assuming he's talking about his character, John McClane. So let's just stick with that. All right, let's continue.
And like your late pup, I'll leave you pushing up daisies. Less is more, boys. That's my advice. You less survival knife, you more survival wife.
Oh, that is cold. Like your pop, I'll leave you pushing up daisies. So basically, it's like, I'm gonna kill you like your pop. So you'll be whatever. And he only had one wife, so that's not too bad, I guess. And the surviving knife was necessary, so I still think he did a fantastic job. So let's see what John McClane has, what John Wick has in store for us. So let's continue.
Ooh. I'm gonna
Nice.
need a dinner reservation for 2.
I love his delivery. It does sound a bit like John Wick. I really enjoyed that, and I love I have a reservation for 2. Basically, he's stating that he's about to, reservation for 2. That's when he needs to call the cleaners for a cleanup. So basically, he's stating already at the beginning that he's already murdered the 2 of them. Brilliant. Let's go.
John Wick, I'm efficient and lean, a proficient professional killing machine. Underworld overachiever looking dapper as a buck, and only one of us to go 3 chapters without sucking.
That is subjective, I have to say. I did enjoy the first 3 movies of Die Hard and First Blood series. That's the Die Hard, the second one, Die Hard in the airport. That was actually with John Amos. That was fun. And then the third one with Samuel L. Jackson and the Simon Says Things. That was great. And we had the John Rambo. The second one was in Vietnam and the third one was in Afghanistan. They were actually quite interesting. After that, it became a bit murky. So I think it's subjective. And then again, we'll just have to wait and see what the 4th one in the John Wick chapters are going to be like. So he shouldn't start talking stuff yet until we see it. All right, let's continue.
Between your elevator and the mine where you were trapped, you're such wieners, I should call you both John Shaft.
Oh, that is nice. It's like he was stuck in an elevator shaft, and he was stuck in a mine shaft, and then wieners. Obviously, you guys don't really need me to explain what wieners are. And then both names are John, and it works, John Shaft. And then we have John Shaft, the baddest detective in town, played by the great Richard Roundtree, and I guess also played by Samuel L. Jackson, and a third one. So it's very interesting. I love how he actually brought that together and, tied the whole. It would have been interesting if John Shaft was actually included in this. I would have loved that. All right, let's continue.
Rhymes with pencils, then jam them in next. So I'm not vexed
with a pencil.
Flex and roid injected pecs. Being excommunicado wasn't more than I could handle, so I think I can withstand an excremental ex-commando.
All right, so I get it. Being incommunicado it's not more than I can handle. Basically, what he's saying, when he became incommunicado because of events that took place in the second movie, what he's saying is that it was a free-for-all to take him out. And basically what he's saying is that those who are actually after him are miles ahead in terms of proficiency, expertise than John Rambo. And the fact that he actually survives that means there's nothing for him to worry about this broken individual.
And this sad broken dad joking popo is no foe for the virtuoso bad virtuoso. Ho ho.
Okay, so there you go. He's actually talking about the John McClane. He has a very interesting family dynamic, and so it's a bad joke. And he's also a police, and he's a well, I guess John Wick is a virtuoso in, you know, taking out things. And I love the fact the ho 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 thing could be a play on the whole is Die Hard, a Christmas movie or not. I think it's a Christmas movie because it takes place in Christmas and all that stuff, but a lot of people say no, it's not a Christmas movie, it's just an action movie. I'm like, no, it's a Christmas action movie, and we're not going to go into this discussion at this moment. Let's just continue with the reaction. Love it.
Ho-ho to quivers and bows, I'm delivering blows, and when they land it won't help to make fists with your toes. Bitcoin, no. Hit.
I love that. And he's talking about the blows once they land, and it's not going to help if you make fists with your toes. It's what I was talking about earlier, you know, that the John McClane character had to do that in order to relieve stress, or whenever he feels stressed, and it actually works for him. He tries it out after he gets to the hotel, and he's found that it actually works for him, and he's like, yeah, that's not going to work once I get at you. So that's great. All right,
blows, and when they land it won't help to make fists with your toes. Bitcoin, no. Hitcoin, certainly. I'll put you two and two, call it cryptocurrency.
Okay, that is nice. That is nice. So basically, I'm assuming that's what it's called in the movie. I'm not 100% sure. Those coins, I guess it's the hit coin. I mean, it sort of makes sense. It's not Bitcoin. And I also love their, you know, it's a hit coin. And he's going to put them in the tome. And then you have cryptocurrencies. So there you go. The crypt, graveyard, tomes, graveyard. Then hit coin, killing, graveyard. Brilliant. Smooth. That's what I have to say. That was a smooth line.
Coin, no. Hitcoin, certainly. I'll put you two and two, call it cryptocurrency. Obey your superior like good cops and soldiers. Raven, Roy, you're done. Over.
Who's Raven and Roy? I don't think I know that. All right. Sorry, we're not going to John Rambo, and he's looking really jacked and messed up, which works.
Superior like good cops and soldiers. Raven, Roy, you're done. Over.
Obey your superiors like good cops and soldiers. All right, so obviously he's stating that he's the superior, and they're cops and soldier. They have to obey the superiors. So there you go. Nice ending. Love it.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it on. Unless it's one of your movies. In which case, I just turn it on.
Okay, you see that this whole sequence, this is very John Rambo. It's like it seems a little bit unhinged, a little bit whiny. It's like he's not really all there, and it sort of makes sense. Well, I wouldn't say he's really not. Well, I guess you could say that because he truly suffers. He suffers from PTSD, and that is coming across like, you know, a bit unhinged, and the whole muscle suit here is just ridiculous. And it works, and he also has the bandana on. This is fantastic, and the way he speaks is also the very embodiment of John Rambo. So let's continue, and you have it does the whole lip thing.
When I rip off my shirt and start swinging my stick swords, I'm hotter than the suicide girls on your switchboard.
Well, I think I do remember that whole sequence with him and the stick swords. I think that was in the third movie at the opening sequence where he was like, was it the third movie or was that the second movie where he was doing the whole, I think it was, it's the Philippine stick fight thing, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it was, unless, of course, yeah, I think it's the third movie, so that should be interesting. I love how he says he looked really good doing that. He did look good doing that, and he says he's harder than the Suicide Girls. The question is, I don't really know if those girls at the switchboards were actually Suicide Girls. I mean, yes, they did have tattoos and whatnot, but if they were Suicide Girls, that's actually quite interesting. And I'm hoping you guys know who the Suicide Girls are, and obviously we're talking about the switchboard operators at the John Wick movies. All right, so let's just go.
Ben's red, but I got no love for Kami. No juice was used to produce these armies.
I guess in a way that's right, because that's a bodysuit. So I guess no juice was actually used to create those armies. Yeah. And obviously he has no love for the comics, because the second movies he was actually against the second and third movies I guess the second and third movie he was against the Russians, so to speak, in Vietnam, or the communist, yeah, and Russian too in Vietnam and Afghanistan too. So that makes sense.
I got no love for commies. No juice was used to produce these armies. High table rules don't apply to this conflict. I'll finish you right in the lobby. Mission accomplished.
All right, so the high table rules pertains to the John Wick society. When you are in one of those hotels, I think in this case, the Continental, you're not allowed to actually work. And when I mean work, as in carry out assassins to assassinate anyone who's actually within this environment. It's a safe house, a neutral zone, basically. So you can't really do anything about it. And if you break that, you'll be excommunicated from the society and haunted. So that's basically what happened with the second movie. Well, that's the events that the events that happened in the second movie led to the third, where he was actually trying to find a way back. So there you go. I really love that. He was like, and John Rambo being John Rambo, and I don't think the high table rules would actually apply to him, and he will go after whoever it is, because he's a little bit unhinged. So there you go. All right, I like that.
Hey! South is where your marriage went. The last pipe thing you slid in was an air vent. They used to say
Well, technically, oh no, that's wrong. I was like, maybe that's not true. I was like, he did have his wife after the second movie. I mean, they fell in touch between the second and the third movie, so he did slip into something. You know what? I am not even going to go there. Let's just continue.
South is where your marriage went. The last pipe thing you slid in was an air vent. They used to say you were a handsome crusader. Too bad your hairline couldn't get saved by Steve Urkel's neighbor. Oh!
Okay, so I guess he's... okay, this line, the Steve Urkel neighbor he's talking about is the brilliant actor Reginald Vell Johnson. Obviously, he played Carl Winslow in the Family Matters sitcom. I don't remember his name in the Die Hard movie. And in my opinion, I feel as though without him in the movie, the Die Hard series wouldn't have been as rounded, I want to say. It's like he was the foil to John McClane's snark, as John McClane was the foil to Hans Gruber. It's like without the three of them sort of working together, or separately, I should say, the movie wouldn't have been as great as it was. It's like Reginald Vell Johnson did an absolutely amazing job. He sort of made us. He sort of represents, in my opinion, the audience member trying to figure out what's going on in the building, while McClane also, to an extent, also is the... You know what? I don't think it's... I'm not here to really overanalyze that. So basically, what I'm getting from here is he's stating that the actor is so fantastic that he actually made the movie better than it is. Even though he is that great, he unfortunately couldn't save his hairline, more or less. If that's wrong, I do apologize. You guys will let me know in the comments down below. But yes, I think it's his character was very important in the movie. And I felt without his comedic timing to deal with John McClane's Stark and Hans Gruber's suave, villainous self, he wouldn't have been the same. All right, so let's just continue.
Oh, I slip into the jungle, disappear like a ghost. Then ding, I pop up behind you like
That's very...
But I'm packing parabellum. I was trained to be the very best soldier boy.
I seek peace, but I pack the parabellum. Okay, I seek peace. Parabellum rounds are very... Okay, and that also ties into John Wick, but I'm not quite sure how that works as a diss, so you guys will let me know in the comments down below. And I love that. I think the parabellum rounds and everything, this was classic First Blood Part 2. So there we go.
I seek peace, but I'm packing parabellum. I was trained to be the very best soldier boy. I'm blasting RPG through NYPD's guts.
True.
Simon says you can PTSD nuts.
Jesus!
All right, so there you go. Simon Says PTSD's nuts. I was like, yeah, we know he's unhinged, and that's very interesting what he's done there. So,
Through NYPD's guts. Simon says you can PTSD nuts.
Jesus Christ, asshole! What are you doing? This is not some Saturday morning cartoon for you to ruin.
hey, I did like the Rambo cartoons. What are you talking about? They weren't that bad. I mean, if you actually like the He-Man cartoons too, I think you sort of like that. So whatever. It's, I guess, subjective again. Another subjective thing here. Let's continue.
The thing getting ruined is McClane family Christmas. All your kids still have decent dad on their wish list.
Oh, that's a low blow. That's a low blow because we all know he is sort of a weird. He has a strange relationship with his family, wife and kids. So that's like a low blow. All right, let's continue.
Whoa! Rambo dropping bombs in his flows. Your pals in the Taliban help you right though.
That's a bit of a stretch. Then again, I think it is, after all, a battle rap. So you have to toss out anything and hope that it sticks. And if you're not very careful, you would actually think that was the case. Because I'm talking about the whole helping the Taliban's in the third movie. He was actually helping the Mujahideen. I don't know when the Taliban's actually formed, but and also it's kind of murky. I think some Mujahideens ended up. It's a weird, sticky situation. So I guess that kind of works, but it's not really as hard hitting as you would think. So yeah, John Rambo helped the Mujahideens fight against the Russians. The Taliban's is a different organization. Maybe it does have it does have members of the Mujahideen, but hey. There you go. Then again, one is fiction, the other one is real. Well, okay, I'll give you that. It's kind of messy, kind of murks things up. So there you go.
Those were Mujahideen. There's a difference. The Taliban formed in the 90s.
In the
when you
90s.
fell off with a vengeance.
Hey!
Oh wow, that was cold. He corrects him and then he insults him on top of that. That is some really badass the delivery there. I really love that. All right, so let's just take it back a bit.
There's a difference. The Taliban formed in the 90s when you fell off with a vengeance.
Hey! Who the fuck asked you, dog pound? Would you go like your mouth in a hole in the ground?
Oh, Lord.
Definitely PTSD, and I love the snarkiness. The snarkiness comes out in the John McClane character. He's on point. It's like all of them are actually on point and embody the quirks of each of the characters that they actually portray. So there you go. Love it.
You're both a funeral suit away from presentable. I'm thinking I'm back, and I'm thinking you're expendable.
You wanna...
I'm thinking I'm back. Well, we know Keanu Reeves had this whole resurgence after the whole John Wick series. It's like he came back bigger and better. And then the Expendables, we have Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone were actually in the Expendable movies. So that's a dig at them. It was like, he's back. He's going to take them. And obviously their funeral suit away from being presented. So you have all that. Love that.
Die hard? Well, today's a good day. Let's go, motherfuckers! Yippee-ki-yay!
I love that. You want to die hard? I love the whole, time. I think that was the second movie where he actually does that. He tapes his gun behind his back. Or was it a third movie? I don't remember, but I love the fact that they're incorporating elements. He's incorporating elements from the movies. They all are sort of. You have the suit, you have the gun, and the bandana. And the survival knife. So that's great. In terms of who won, I'm gonna have to give it to John McClane. I thought he went at them and he sort of decimated them with facts based on what's happening. He propped himself up. He went after John Wick and John Rambo. He did bring up some very interesting comments and observations about them, and his flow was fine. Then you had The second, in my opinion, would be John Wick, Zach Sherman. He was smooth, his flow was interesting, it was intricate, it just didn't have as much impact or punch as the John McClane character, so he comes in second. And then we have the I keep saying McClane, sorry. And then we have the John Rambo. That was just him being him. He was basically everything about him just screamed PTSD. That's what I got from that. Yes, he did have some interesting things to say. He did jab at his family, at John McClane's family life. That's understandable. And he did state that he's basically insane enough to actually disregard the high table rules and kill John Wick and all that stuff. So that's where, and then he screams when the whole was brought in. So yes, John Rambo was John Rambo, no question about it, but he does come in third, and the winner in this, in my opinion, is John McClane. So that was great. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for this being quite long, but it was fun, it was interesting, and I'm glad you guys stayed till the end to watch this, so yay. All right, so with that said, this is your boy Jack. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button. Let you know when next drop a new video. Don't forget to leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to react to. If you've got nothing to say, just say, hey, that's absolutely okay. If you disagree with what I've said during this reaction video, wish to expand on what I've said during this reaction video, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments down below. All I ask is that you be constructive about it. And with that said, this is your boy Jack. Y'all take care, and I will catch you on the flip side.